How many trees offset 1 ton CO2? By the end you will understand what determines how many trees offset a ton of carbon dioxide, and why the answer depends on tree species, growth, lifetime, and accounting methods. A tree's lifetime CO2 storage is the total carbon dioxide expected to be absorbed over its full functional lifespan, not per year. Evertreen estimates this using species-specific allometric equations from Glob Alum Tree, FAO/CIRAD, IPCC 2006 factors, and the 3.67 ratio for CO2 to carbon. The average lifetime CO2 stored in a tree varies by species and site. Evertreen uses a figure of roughly 0.8 tons of CO2 per tree over its whole life, modeled from growth data and allometric equations. Estimating tree CO2 storage relies on allometric equations, which use measurements such as diameter at breast height, dBH, tree height, and wood density to predict biomass, then derive carbon and convert it to CO2. Carbon in tree biomass is commonly assumed to be about half the dry mass. To convert carbon to CO2, the molecular weight ratio of 44/12, or 3.67, is applied. The US EPA estimates a medium-growth urban tree sequesters around 0.06 metric ton of CO2 per year, averaged over 10 years in suburban settings. This is an annual rate, not a total lifetime figure. If a lifetime estimate per tree is around 0.8 tons of CO2, then dividing 1 ton by 0.8 gives about 1.25 trees needed to store 1 ton CO2 over the life of the trees. That calculation shows about 1 to 2 trees, over their full lifetime, are needed to offset 1 ton of CO2 structurally in biomass, not per year, but across decades. How many trees offset 1 ton CO2? Roughly 1 to 2 trees over their lifetimes can store 1 ton of CO2, depending on species, growth conditions, and survival. Lifetime depends on local climate, species-specific growth, and site survival data. Why do estimates vary? Allometric formulas differ by species, wood density, and environment. Some models use general averages. Evertreen uses species-specific models with real field data and Monte Carlo uncertainty to produce conservative figures. How does annual sequestration compare? A typical urban tree might absorb around 0.06 tons of CO2 per year, so it would take many years, maybe over a decade, for it to reach 0.8 tons total. Why use lifetime instead of annual rate? Lifetime storage gives a complete picture, accounting for nonlinear growth, mortality, and ecosystem dynamics. Reporting only annual average underestimates the eventual total captured. What if trees die early? Lifetime estimates adjust for survival rates observed in field plots to ensure the CO2 figure reflects realistic outcomes, not hypothetical full growth. Evertreen's modeled CO2 per tree is not the same as a verified carbon credit. Verified credits are audited, registered, and retired separately via Verra or Gold Standard registries. Every Evertreen project is published with its public registry ID, Verra VCS or Gold Standard, allowing buyers to verify projects directly on the registry. Every carbon credit from Evertreen is retired once on the Verra registry or Gold Standard Impact registry, with a unique serial number, preventing double counting. Retirement documentation is available on request. Registry serial numbers, GPS coordinates, and certificates can be requested by contacting partnerships at evertreen.com. Visit evertreen.com to explore tree planting, Verra and Gold Standard carbon credits, and renewable energy certificates, starting from just £1. Remote sensing technologies, such as satellite imagery and drone mapping, are often used to monitor the growth and survival of planted trees in carbon offset projects, providing independent verification of on-the-ground results. How is double counting avoided in tree-based carbon credits? Accredited registries like Verra and Gold Standard track every issued credit with unique serial numbers, ensuring that each ton of CO2 is claimed only once. How much does it cost to offset 1 ton of CO2 with trees? The overall price includes tree planting, long-term monitoring, certification fees, and project management, which varies by project location, registry, and planting method. A common misconception is that planting any number of trees guarantees a specified climate benefit. The actual carbon offset depends on species, survival rates, site conditions, and ongoing forest management, all of which are tracked in certified projects. To plant trees your company can point to on a map and report on with confidence, go to evertreen.com.